dome. Concrete walls, yeah, it's my home. Stockpile stacked with rations tight. Prep for the dark, we'll light the fight. Forage the woods, take what I need. Off-grid living, no time for greed. Barter goods in the shadow shade. Tactical steps in plans I've laid. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepared for the fall. Yeah, prepared for it all. Generators hum, a comforting sound. Blackout nights when chaos surrounds. Seeds in jars, yeah, we're growing life. Homesteading strong in a time of strife. No high-tech wires, no web to roam. Resilience beats the world unknown. Hands in the soil, hearts in the fight. Staying ready every day, every night. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Back through the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Prepare for it all. When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlling freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got the wrong kind of Reich? He builds his cars.
Okay, hopefully this thing is on, guys. So good to see you guys today. Let's see here. We need to mute that. There we go. No double sounds. Guys, you can give me a 5x5. That would be great. That would be super duper pooper scooper. Looks like people are really looking like they want to see the Grand Poobah preparedness. So I have it ready just in case we actually meet our goal today. Rural Tri-C, good to see you guys. But let's go ahead and knock this out. Cool Colt. Andy Pearson. Number 2. And Pilgrim. You are deterred. Looks like we got Cindy Hoffman in the house. Alrighty, then here's West Virginia Pappy, Debbie Chandler, Preston, Captain, my captain. Let's see here. Ian's in the house. I said rural true. I see we got Gnostic showing up here. And Mike, just Mike, 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 Mike. Am I saying that right? What day is it? What day is it, guys? Put it in the chat. Make sure you use an exclamation point in all caps. I don't have any kind of filters on this thing. Mr. J, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Okay, looks like you guys are willing. So Cool Colt, first of all, Cool Colt. Today is Cool Colt's 13-month membership anniversary. Everybody make sure you guys give Cool Colt a thumbs up. He also he's like number two. Number two. You would admit, I'm just going to give you a heart, man. I don't have time to type all that stuff in. They got Rose doing that. Make sure you guys give Rose a thumbs up as well for doing that. Looks like I am 5 by 5. Windows Sun. Don't make me look. I don't want to search that window. I don't want to like per Mia. Is that like per diem, dude? Is that what that is? No. I'm just gonna Google it. I'm just gonna go. What's this? What? Where we got here? His Latin translation. Through me, the blind see. Oh, okay. Is that a religious thing, or are you just trying to start a cult? Still love you. Still love you. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. Also, hit that thumbs up button because it does. It's free and it's good. It's good for me. It's good for me. So today is an unscheduled live stream, and it's an unscheduled live stream because I didn't schedule it. That's why. That's why. I woke up this morning. I was reading some of the news, and I wanted to make sure. I just felt like doing a live stream. That's just what it came down to. So. Um, one of the things that there's a lot of stuff in the news, and we're not going to make this like a news thing, but we're going to try and associate some of the news with preparedness. Also, guys, if you could let me know, the counter on YouTube has been broken. I don't know why, but it's been saying some weird things. So if you guys could let me know in the chat, how many people you see as far as like thumbs up or people watching, that kind of thing. It's supposed to show you both. Do me a favor, let me know in the, in the chat, in the chat. Sorry, Rose, I'm not drinking the 180-degree coffee. I did not have time to get that coffee mug out. Like I said, this is all completely unscheduled. So, with that said, one of the things that I am paying attention to, I got to set this right to make sure so it looks good for you guys. Bookmarks and lists, bookmark this tab, show bookmarks, never, and that way it looks better. One of the things that I've been looking at, what's up, Pilgrim? What's up? Um, 17 watching and only 8 thumbs up. That's some weak sauce. That is freaking weak. When I'm watching a video within like the first minute of it, especially if it's a live stream and they're not like, and it's time to make it's roll the dough and the GNC and oh my God, it's tyranny. If it's like that, I just walk away. But they always get a thumbs up from me, even if I only watch it for a couple of seconds. I think we need to make that like our policy. It's just smart. It's just smart. You guys have to support your local YouTubers. Okay, let's see here. Ian showed up. Good. Oh, no, no, no. There we go. There we go. Hey, cool. You guys, dang, we got some participation. I like it. All right, so I'm going to switch screens here. Hopefully, everything is still working when I do that. All right, guys. So I popped over to the watch screen, and the reason I did that is because there's a hurricane. There's a storm out there that no one is paying attention to. I just got a notification. Wow, only like 8 minutes late. That's pretty freaking awesome. If you did not receive a notification, put a one in the chat, guys. But we have several disturbances out there. Um, let's get that guy, Craig, aka New York Prepper, dethroned. He's a goober. I don't. I'm not familiar with him. What did he do? What did he do wrong? Windows. We'll look into it. Tell me what he did wrong. I mean, you don't have to write me a paragraph or anything. Rose says it's polite to acknowledge someone's work, whether they agree or not. That's true. That's true. And it looks like Rose is the number one. She's the number one contributor at 325 XP, followed by Cool Colt and Andy Pearson, the silent Andy Pearson. Andy only engages me. I didn't even know Andy was in here. Uh, Andy, Andy only engages me when I'm on X. It's kind of funny. I got one. I have the bell turned on though. I got you. Every day is the end there. Oh, I got you. I got you. Maybe we'll have to check him out. Maybe we'll have to check him out. But anyway, so I've got this pulled up. Let me make this a little bit, rub this a little harder, make it a little bit bigger for you. There you go. But we have right now Tropical Storm Erin. All right. And this is not a weather channel. This is a preparedness channel. Pilgrim says I'm number 8 now. And if you guys are not familiar with the National Hurricane Tracking Center, you just type in NOAA hurricane, it'll take you right there. And this is not, I'm not going to say this is scary or whatever it may be, but there's a lot of tools out there for us to stay kind of actually pretty damn focused. pretty focused. So here is the current track as of Wednesday, August 13th, just the 5 a.m. And they should have updated at 9, but I guess they're going for 11 now. So it's predicted to be a major storm. It'll be a hurricane, but somewhere between Thursday and Friday. It'll actually be a hurricane. And then it's predicted to be a major storm up to major storms are category 3 and higher. And look what it's pointed at. Look what it's pointing at. And it's amazing because we're currently in the peak of hurricane season, and it's like we have not experienced on the East Coast. I'm not talking about Helene because that sucker ran right over Florida and then arched its way up. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a traditional hardcore hurricane smashing into the East Coast of the United States. That's generally Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? After that, it's like whatever's. And then there was actually some talk by one of the followers about uh, what is- time to take back our Republican from tyrants. I believe that. I believe that. But anyway, and then there's some talk about this heat wave up north that might like draw in this hurricane. Now, the reason I'm talking about, are you getting ready to run to your property? No, I'm not, Rhodes. No, I'm not. I have that property hurricane ready during the hurricane season all the time. There's no reason for me to run up there and do this, that, and the other thing. That thing survived a category 4. I'm not worried about it. Um, but anyway, so talking about this hurricane, is it heading our way? Yeah, it's heading our way. But I think that we have become, even in the preparedness space, I think that we have become numb to these hurricanes because our tracking has gotten so good that we don't really pay attention to them until the media starts to talk about them. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons I'm talking about them right now, because I think that we're a little slack. I think that we're not we don't have our eye on the prize when it comes to hurricanes, because let's face it, we have had several in a row hurricane seasons that were just not that destructive. I'm not downplaying Helene, okay? But you have to admit that basically the East Coast has not seen any major hurricane action in some time, like a major, major hurricane. You know what I'm saying? A Cat 4, a Cat 5, the stuff that just scares the crap out of us. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had one of those in a while, and we've gotten slack. We've gotten slack, and what we need to do is get things right. Now, one of the reasons that we've become slack is because for all the screaming and yelling about freaking government spending, they're canceling NOAA projects, and now we're not going to have 7 million NOAA weather advisors. And oh my God, Captain Red Tie is trying to destroy the world and make everything unsafe for us. For all of that, for all of that, we still somehow have the ability with our technology, our ability to like predict things within, a reasonable percentage of accuracy. And so what I'm saying is that you have this major hurricane. So like on the screen, what we see is a major hurricane heading for the East Coast of America, and we should be paying attention to it. But, but with the technology of today, we can look at things like this. And these are called string models. All right. And this one right here is very telling. It's very telling. And so we don't have this massive thing where, even though there's this giant hurricane out there, or will be, um, coming at us, so on and so forth. And so we kind of like, I think we slack off. I really do think we slack off. When for Christmas one year, I bought uh, 72-hour kits. Walmart used to make these 72-hour survival kits. I need to look that up and see if those are still a thing. Walmart used to make these 72-hour survival kits. There were these red backpacks, like 20-liter backpacks, and they were heavy too. They were full of water and food and all sorts of stuff, right? Um, and got them for my kids. Not a joke. Merry Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Got them for my grandkids. Merry Christmas. So I probably need to get, I probably need to get, yeah, I probably need to buy some of those and just send them to them. Just have them like Walmart it directly, straight to them. You know what I'm saying? And they were only $50. It was pretty amazing. Good morning, Deanna. Good to see you. But the reality is that we can look at these string models and see that there's a very small likelihood of, well, I won't say very small. It's less likely that this hurricane is actually going to make landfall. Okay. Deanna says, I just got my notification. That's not bad. That's only 15 minutes. It's only 15 minutes. And this was completely unscheduled. So, um, it is Country Prepper 19. We're going to talk about that subject. We're going to talk about that subject today. Um, but guys, we can't get slack. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to point you towards a set of tools. This National Hurricane Center is reasonably it's actually pretty good, but you really have to do a deep dive. If you really want to know, like, if the hurricane people that are like telling you stuff, you need to come to nhc.noaa.gov or just Google NOAA hurricane, right? It'll take you right here. And then click on whatever hurricane it is. And then instead of looking at the picture going, oh no, doom and gloom, actually go to like the discussion. Okay. Because those are just graphics and you can actually read and you can tell. Okay. Key messages. Aaron could move close enough to the north and Leeward Islands, the Virginia Islands, or the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico over the weekend to produce some impacts on those inlands. However, the magnitudes and impacts are still unknown. You can read between the lines and see, if it's like, this is a major storm. You know what I'm saying? Deep convection is redeveloping intermittently over the western portion of Erin's circulation. However, the system continues to have a rather ragged looking appearance, so it's not organized. You see what I'm saying? Do the legwork, do the homework. Know, like, it's hurricane season, guys. We should be doing more about this. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're really into the graphics type stuff, I highly recommend Mike's or just type spaghettimodels.com. Remember that picture I showed you? It's called a spaghetti model. Okay. Just type spaghetti models and it'll take you right to spaghettimodels.com. It's also known as Mike's weather page. This guy has been tracking hurricanes. He's a complete civilian. He is not a meteorologist, but he's right like 90% of the time. I think he's based down in Key West, Florida. So he's like paying attention to this stuff. But he every day, this is his website, and he gathers the information on it all the time. It's pretty insane. Like this is a NOAA string model right here. This is Tropical Tidbits. Where is that string model? There it is. This one's actually there. That one's even more detailed. Okay. Um, it's absolutely an amazing website. I do highly recommend that you guys get your butt over there. You know what? I'm going to put this in the chat just so that you guys can go get it now. I wish that um, uh, there was a way for me to like put this in the description like live, but it doesn't work that way. Maybe I'll go back later and put this in the description. Okay, so let's go back to the main. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. Please pay attention if you live on the East Coast, or even in, down south someplace, because the last thing we need is another situation where, like Helene, where people are caught off guard, not paying attention to what's going on around them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this will never happen here. That's never happened before. And then you go check the records, and yeah, it had happened a couple of times actually, where like valleys were just washed out because hurricanes rolled up in there. The presumption of safety is simply foolish, and preppers should not be foolish. Rose says it's not just hurricanes; it's all severe weather situations. We have needed to be situationally aware where we live. What past history of area flooding such have extra sump pumps available? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm a big Ryan Hall fan. Who's go to the nasty weather. Is Ryan Hall that other weather guy, or is Ryan Hall the guy who does the Mike's weather? No, yeah, obviously it's not Mike's weather page. Ryan Hall, you talk about is he's like the guy who's the weather guy on YouTube? Yeah, someone let me know in the chat. I'm not sure who Ryan Hall is because you say my brain is telling me Ryan Hall is, ex-Navy SEAL, CIA operator, that kind of thing. Ryan Hall is the weather YouTube channel. Gotcha, Gnostic. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. All my family is getting Pilgrim says all of my family is getting Stop the Bleed PCR/AD class. Nice. Christmas time. Looks like Cuckfeed just showed up there from the People's Republic of Michigan. Let's see here. So let's see here. Windows says, um, was here on Gulf Coast of America during Katrina. They aren't too bad, better than tornadoes. That's true. That's true. Let's see. And then also, so country, I really wish there was a way for me to like pop things into the chat over here, but it's just that I'm using a different piece of software today. So Country Prepper 19 says, can I go to your channel? Right. Let's see, channel activity. Go to channel. I want to see what your channel looks like. I want to see what you got. 42 subscribers. Okay. You got that don't tread on me flag in the pad. Looks like you've been trying some stuffs. I got you. I got you. Okay. All right. And actually you look you're kind of familiar. I don't know why, but you're kind of familiar. All right. So here's the thing. He's asking, how's everyone feel about the DC federal takeover? Well, I've got to tell you that I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty happy about it. Anything that is getting the pinkos to yell and scream tyranny, and you start using the words police state, it just warms the cockles of my heart, you know. Um, I I was talking to this guy on X yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, it's all about the police state in DC. We got to stop this tyranny." And it's like, okay, well, dynamite. It's like, okay, so I have a test. I have a test for all of you. I have a test for all of you. If I'm right, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. If I'm right, put a one in the chat. If I'm wrong, put a zero in the chat. Okay? So the question is actually simple. I'm going to give you three situations. In the first situation, did anybody scream police state when they sent the Marines to Los Angeles? Am I right or am I wrong? I don't think I don't remember. No, I'm going to say no. They did. Nobody screamed police state when they sent the Marines to Los Angeles. What, last month? I don't think anybody did that. So tell me if I'm right or wrong in the chat. The next one is, did anybody scream police state when they activated most of the military and almost every National Guard unit on the planet to support Katrina? I don't think they did. I'm going to go ahead and say no. Am I right or wrong? Wrong. If I'm right, put a one in the chat. If I'm wrong, put a zero in the chat. Hopefully I got that right. And did anybody scream police state when they used active duty U.S. Marines to quell the violence during the LA riots? Did anybody scream police state? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I'm going to go ahead and say no. If I'm right, put a one in the chat. If I'm wrong, put a zero in the chat. All right. So, and don't be slackers this morning, guys. Don't be slackers. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Curious. Rose put in here, and she also put in she pinged me in the members only Discord. Curious how many of the cops may be Guard members. Well, I mean, this is, people who serve in the National Guard generally are synonymous with citizen soldiers. That's their terminology. And they have full-time jobs, where they're normally could be police officers or firefighters or EMTs or public officials or dentists, oh my. Um, but it is curious to know. But here's the thing. What'll likely happen is that there will be certain members of the Guard units that will be deputized. in order to carry out law enforcement missions. Now, here's the thing: you can embed guardsmen into guardsmen into law enforcement units, and whereas the guardsmen will be acting in a law enforcement capacity, but would have no authority to arrest, and that's what the law enforcement units would be doing. Um, I voted for Trump 20 for this 2028. Hey Miko, good to see you. Good to see you. And so um I don't have a problem with the National Guard being there. A lot of people don't understand that unit specifically. It's a very specialized unit because it's the only National Guard unit that reports directly to the President of the United States. He can use them anytime he wants in the defense of of the capital of the district, because when DC isn't just like it's this District of Columbia, it's not just Washington DC, it's a federal district. It's not a state, you know. So now you've got the chief of police there. She's all upset because you know they can't say it's unconstitutional. They can't say it's illegal. They can't say there's no justification for it. They can't say anything. So now what they're doing is they're going out on the national news and using emotional verbiage to try and show their displeasure with the fact that they have just been pushed to the side. Now, obviously that chief of police will do what the chief of police is told, but here's the thing. I don't think it would be very smart. And as I understand it, the job she had before she was hired to be the current chief of police was that she was a DEI officer. Basically, it was her job to run DEI in a police department. So I'm not sure how that happened, but it did. It's kind of weird. It's crazy. Let's see here. Biden activated the National Guard and federalized the police at least once during his term. Very true. Do you remember? Remember all the pictures about troops? I got troops sleeping in the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Libertarians were, libertarians did. Biden activated. Okay, we did that already. I was too young to weigh in. Gotcha, Gnostic. Gnostic says, what's happening in DC is the first of many dominoes of government overreach. In my opinion, this is a very slippery slope. Uh, DC is unique because it's under federal control all the time. Yes, very true. It's absolutely. You're both right. Gnostic and Cuck, you're both right. Or should I say you're both correct, because it's not an argument. Those are just statements. Um, it's always a slippery slope. People view slippery slopes as things that could go a certain way. Now, I think what people need to be focused on with this DC thing, okay? The crime is an issue, all right? We're dealing when we think about Captain Red Tie, what we need to be thinking about is that his mind, he's going back to the way the things were in the 80s. In the 80s, you could walk down the street of New York City and not get mugged. In the 80s, people walked everywhere. There were cabs, not Ubers. You know what I'm saying? You could buy a paper, sit down and read it someplace. In the 80s, New York City was not that bad of a city. In general, the United States was very crime free, and just a great place to live. Um, but DC was that way as well. The nightlife in DC was kind of known. People were taking the train and when we say train, they have a mass transit system there. Last time I was on it was actually pretty freaking nice. But people would take the train into DC from Maryland and Virginia just to have a good time. I'm saying? It was really nice. It was very, hey, take the train, pop up, walk down the block a little bit, frickin', and then go into some very nice restaurant or some very nice bar, have a nice evening. You know what I'm saying? get back on the train at night and go home. They literally, really was a nice place. And I think that what Trump is doing is not just about the crime. I think the crime is an afterthought. He has a tendency to try to make things very, very nice. He wants things to be presentable, like upper class type thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the middle class. The middle class 20 years ago was the upper class. And so, you've got to, if you connect all the dots, and I am not putting that tinfoil hat on just yet. We have not met our goal. But what has he been doing? Well, let's see. He's walking up on the roof of the White House to see how that looks. He's doing a lot of realty type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Developer type stuff. He's putting that giant ballroom on the White House. He's probably getting rid of so many stupid staffers, offices. Make them screw your office, work in cubicles, get in the basement. Um, let's see, what else does he do? The Kennedy Center, he's reviving the Kennedy Center. And all of this crime, people, what was it? What was it like last year? I think it was like Rand Paul. He got basically a crowd tried to get him and he got assaulted and is trying to protect his wife, and there was a couple others. So this has been going on for a while, man. This has been going on for a while. But I think he's trying to make I mean, he can't do anything about New York, but I think what he's doing with DC is he's trying to make it a better city. You know what I'm saying? Um, I don't think DC will ever be a state. The only time anybody talks about DC being a state is when the people on the left don't have enough votes. You know what I'm saying? In the House and the Senate, and they just want more seats so they can have more control. It's just like the Supreme Court. They never talk about how many judges are on the Supreme Court until there's enough, centrist or constitutionally focused judges on the Supreme Court. Then they want to just overlay. They know I want 15 people on the Supreme Court. That's when they do that crap. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Let's see here. What's happening in DC is the first of many dominoes. Okay, Gnostic says, you asked 3 times about government overreach. I answered each time as you asked them. Yeah, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Uh, I can only answer things in a subject. Let's see. I was just a kid when the LA riots happened. Miko says National Guard call incentives. National Guard call incentives 50s, the civil rights 50s and 60s, the hippie protesters 60s, 50s, the Vietnam. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They were out doing that. Um, I was excited. I love my country, but I'm not leaving my home to live in a 15. Yeah, exactly. Those 15-minute cities are kind of scary. You know, the UK is so underwater right now. Let's see, just to comply and not rock the boat. The House is set at 435 members. Gotcha, cut fee. Gotcha. All right, so we talked about the hurricanes and you know what? It's time to base some bill, guys. As usual, if you love your country, put a one in the chat. Okay, and we're going to, can this microphone actually handle my America? I feel like it goes out. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to drink some coffee. I'm gonna talk some smack. I'm gonna try and pay some bills. I don't think I have the commercial fired up, but I'm going to push the button anyway. Let's see here, ending. You know what? I might actually have it. Hold on.
I don't know how he got it, but I do know where it came from. The answer is China. I was just curious if I could just break it with my bare hands. The answer to that is yes. So the next time you're like, I could get it cheaper on Temu. Yeah, you can get it cheaper. That doesn't mean it's better. And this thing is not required to save your life. This is just to put your cool guy nods in so you can operationally operate like an operator. Here at Refuge, we make shit in America literally right here in this sew shop. You could have that, or you could have guaranteed forever for life.
Okay, guys, and obviously Refuge Medical, the best medical supply company and training company. Technically, look at this. Look at the side there. Look at the side. Training, medical training. They're getting huge on medical training, guys. And just I want to reiterate, just guys, you you have made it so that we, as a group, are the number one supporters of Refuge Medical. Not a joke. That's right, Cool Colt. We're number one. And it's not like we're number one, you know what I'm saying? Or one of us. It's not that. Guys, because of your support and because me pushing, because of me, it's because of us. Because they make the best stuff on the planet. Because they are 100% all American from top to bottom. Because they're just this straightforward all American company that gets it right every time. And when they do screw up, it's part of the ethos to fix it, not just for that one person, but for everyone. It's pretty crazy. So I got off the phone with Refuge Medical yesterday. Not a joke. Actually, my phone rang. I called. No, I called them, and then my phone rang. And so, what they wanted to do is they wanted to let me know that they appreciated what I did, and then they were like, "And you're one of the top people." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So who's and the Marine in me is like, "Who's the best? Who's number one?" And they were like, "Well, actually, you are." And so I wanted to let you guys know that it's not just me, it's you. It really is. And I think that that's kind of important because this is how we, as Americans, are pushing for American companies to be better, to to serve Americans. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we should tell our friends about it too. So I wanted to let you guys know that. Obviously, if you want to buy the best stuff on the planet or get the best training there is, local prepper, all one word, save 15% because some of this stuff is not cheap. All right, let's go ahead and get back on the main page. Commercial ended. All right, guys. So let's see here. Ian says they're always talking about packing the Supreme Court, but could they remove seats to get the same results? I've never actually contemplated whether I've never actually like looked that up. Like, can they like remove seats? Now they can leave. They have in the past, for political reasons, left seats vacant that benefit their political agenda. The Republicans have done that many times. Um, and what they'll do is they'll leave the seat vacant so that they can get what they want, and that way there's no political fight. And then towards the end of a presidency, the Republican president will um um he'll like make a submission. He'll be like a nomination. You know what I'm saying? And try and fill those seats. So it has been done. It has been done. Okay, guys. I guess the next thing, what are we going to talk about next? What's up, Tucson Prepper? What do you guys want to talk about next? I clearly have an opinion on it on everything. Ian says because there's no mandate in the Constitution saying how many seats have to be filled with the Supreme Court. Exactly. There's no mandate. They could basically they could I don't know appoint as many as they want, I guess. But I mean, it's just like, is there room in the building? That's the question. That's the real question. Is there room in the building? Okay, guys. Like I said, put something in the chat there. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I don't really care what it is as long as it doesn't get me kicked off of YouTube. I'll be happy about it. Let's see here. Let me see. Let me see if I can beat you to it. National Guard begins deploying to DC streets after Trump police takeover. Let's see here. Well, look at there. Zelensky not invited to upcoming Trump Putin talks. White House says this was the reason. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I don't think you can. I don't think you guys can hear that. I'm listening to that, but I don't think you guys kind of heard that. So, um, so basically, Zelensky was not invited to the upcoming Trump-Putin talks. All right, let's see here. Windows says, when will BB hit Iran away again? Hearing it's imminent. There's no telling. There's no telling. You know, we unfortunately these wars have got to the point where it's like so many people, I would say the preponderance of human beings alive don't truly understand war, and they don't understand war because they're never taught that war is the last effort in politics. It's the very last effort. Do what we want, or we'll come and kill you. That's what war is, guys. It has nothing to do with protecting innocent lives or saving human beings. It is do what we want, or we will come and kill you. And so, with that forgotten by the masses or never learned by the masses, these wars that seem to go on and on and on forever go on and on because of that, because there's no political decision that is made to stop them, and that has to be affected by the other party not doing what or stop doing the stuff that they've been doing, or not, or finally doing the stuff that we want you to do. You know what I'm saying? The reality. So if you weren't paying attention, in Israel, obviously they did that because 1,000 people got killed, which was like 30% of their population. No, it's a good chunk of people that got killed based on the Israeli population. And then you're talking about like, there's the stigmatism of, of Germany trying to wipe them off the planet. You know what I'm saying? That's just not going to go away. But I also think that at some point it's going to be kind of like slavery and racism, where people will like be allowed to forget about it until the political agenda wants it back in the news. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we haven't heard about slavery in a while. You know what I'm saying? For at least 7 months. Before that it was, what is it? Reparations and just some of the most ridiculous things. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I think that at some point the whole Holocaust thing will happen with the Holocaust thing. The whole never forget thing will be forgotten, because at some point people will they're either going to annihilate these people, or because yeah, I hate to say it, but Gaza doesn't. The people in the Gaza Strip do not have the support of the Muslim world. The Or should I won't say the people, I will say the warring factions within the Gaza Strip do not have support of the Muslim world. The Muslim world wants to advance. Take a look at Abu Dhabi. Take a look at Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at Jordan. They are modernizing. They are trying to make themselves as modern as possible, and to push aside some of the things in their religion that don't support their current objectives. And so, it's like right up there with the Houthis. They they've been allowed to survive. They haven't survived because they've fought their way to the top and now they're a power to be reckoned with. No, they've been allowed because of the Muslim nation didn't want anything to do with the Houthis. Yeah. And if you look at the even the ultra zealot Muslims that are in Iran, um, yeah, no, they're even to the point where we can't modernize until we stop this foolishness. So let's see here. True, 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 true. Where are we at here? Iran. Rose says, we started the slippery slope when companies started to leave because they couldn't get tax breaks. The unions demanding more. Yeah, there's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. I mean, obviously, this is all just my opinion, but there's some truth to that. We, st- it wasn't a slippery slope. Okay. The way we are now, the way we are, because, or should I say, our situation in America is the way it is now because liberal Democrats decided that they were going to move all of manufacturing in America overseas. So they created environments to do that, to get, the 12-year-old monkey boys to make beads and the 9-year-old girls to solder chips. You know what I'm saying? To get all that cheap child labor. You know what I'm saying? Um, and child labor actually only comes from, it doesn't come from poverty. It comes from needing more money. So an entire family has to work. We did the same thing here in America. We had child labor here in America. Um, we just outlawed it here. So yeah, but it's, we became a 100% consumer population. And that's because the ultra left, the liberal leaning left, set it up so that made it so that our businesses would not function here. It's that easy. And now the scenario is being rewritten to where they can operate here, make money, not go out of business, have something to pass down to their children. I think a good indicator of this game, that this foolish game is over, is when they get rid of the death tax. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It's a death tax and capital gains tax on frickin', wealth transfer to, why do we need a loophole? You know what I'm saying? Why do we need to set up trusts that can't be touched? Why do we need a loophole for our wealth to be transferred to our children at our demise? Why is that necessary? It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Let's see here. Windows Son, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. You've been looking me up, Broseph. Have you been looking me up? Let's see here. Where we at here? Tucson Prepper says, yeah, they're talking Iran still had all of the uranium. Yeah, man, there's uranium everywhere. It's like pretending like, oh, there's this one thing that's gonna run the entire world, and it's only in this one spot. No. That's why they call them deposits, not deposit. Well, Hell Valley Prepping, good morning, my friend. Good to see you. Getting that coffee in there. How you doing? All right, let's see here. Miko. Miko says, and remember the Middle East, Bennett wars since before Christ. It's in the scriptures. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's a giant. It was a giant religious battle before it was a giant political battle. And what people have to remember is that uh, um, Muslims, their religion is mixed. It's intertwined. Politics and religion are intertwined. There's not two different books. You know what I'm saying? We have separation of church and state in the United States for that exact reason. And if you think about, and here's the funny thing too, if you think about the issues here in the United States where they're talking about Sharia law, where they want to have like there was like a police department, like a Sharia law police department. They wanted to have a department of Sharia law somewhere here in the United States. Somebody read that. Somebody told me about that. Put that in the chat so everybody knows where that is. And it's like, so they're attempting to intertwine religion that was in New York City. Oh, they're trying to intertwine religion into government. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. You have to look past, it's like think outside the box. What if I think outside the box, I'll look like this all the time. But you have to like connect the dots, like, and not in a tinfoil, not in a tinfoil hat way, guys. Hint, hint. But in a way that is logical, critical thinking, that kind of thing. Well, Ian says they had security forces that look just like, yeah, I saw that. I'm pretty sure the New York City Police Department put a squash on that right off the bat and said, oh, by the way, you look like police officers. That's against the law. And I'm sure they had some lawyer that said, no, it's not implied. No. And I'm sure at some point it's like, yeah, we'll keep playing your reindeer games and see what happens, Mohammed. You know, so it's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Let's see here. Gregory. Hey, Gregory, I haven't seen you in like forever. He's one of our past winners of gear. Will Iran go back to a more modern country like it was under the Shah? I would love to see it, but that answer, it's just so hard. You know, you can't just like, put a cruise missile through their bedroom windows anymore and then everything is fine. You know what I'm saying? Iran is got their country, the leaders of Iran have got that country locked down. And then they do it with, oh, by the way, because this is the way, inshallah, because that, which means if God wills it. And they say that's pretty much everything. That's their entire life. So everything is justified by inshallah, right? So, um, and so it's really easy for them to do it. They lock the internet. You remember some years back where there was like they tried a revolution and that got squashed by the Iranian government. They could control the internet. They could basically control everything. So it's crazy. The Prepper Broadcasting Network. What's up, James? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I left you a message in the chat. You just have to let me know when you want to do it. I'm not really down for any late night stuff because I think late night for you is different for late night for me, and that's late night for me. I like to try and knock things out as early as possible. So let me know. Let me know in the X. Let me know on the X, man, and we'll set something up. We're gonna be talking about some AI stuff. I've been doing some AI research on some pretty interesting things. So. Let's see here. Windows says Thomas Paine has many quotes on problems of religion involved in government. It has no place in our government. Period. Our founding fathers' works. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly right. Um, the what was it? Believe it or not, um, what is his name? The guy who used to be on Fox and on Fox. He used to have his 5 o'clock show. He wrote everything on the chalkboards. What was that guy's name? Somebody put it in the chat. Let's see here. UK Prepper says LP, message me when you can get in podcast. I'm free most weekends. Okay, yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I will send you a message today. Glenn Beck, yes. So Glenn Beck, during the great Muslim craziness here in the United States, Glenn Beck wrote a book on, I want to say it was like on Muslims or on Islam or something like that. And he really did the research on it, and they knew our founding fathers like went to, like the Middle East as envoys and stuff like, and they knew based off of their experiences that this was not good. This was not good. Islam is not good. Um, Not good for America. Let's say that because I don't know what your religious preferences are now. You have the right to believe what you can want to believe as long as it doesn't interfere with my life or the U.S. Constitution. Uh, and so I would recommend if you guys really want to get in deep on that one, I would get that book. I listened to it as an audio book, and it was probably one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. So let's see here. They were deists, deicists. They were dentists. Deassist. I'm gonna look that up, bro. Deassist. That's a word I'm not familiar with. It's like I want to think deities. Deassist. Wikipedia. Establishing a reason for exclusive source of divine knowledge. Deism. Deism, the philosophical position and rationalistic theory that generally rejects revelation as such of a divine knowledge. Gotcha. I don't need to do that. I already looked it up. I already looked it up. Let's see. Windows says, let all operate ferry boats at will, and if you do not have the sense to stay off one that is sinking, it's your own. That's true. That's true. Gnostic says Islam and Judea both worship Yahia, Elohim of the Old Testament. Gotcha. Gotcha. You know, there's obviously a interconnection between many religions. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you right now, one of the pieces of of information my father imparted on me that has always stuck is normally the fastest way to lose friends is to talk about religion or politics. So we're gonna move off the of the religions X for a while here. Let's see here. Is that the same one that was in the banned books too? I don't know, Windows. I don't know. Okay, so let's see here. We're moving up on an hour, and I can keep going here if you guys want me to. We've got enough people that are actually paying attention. If you guys want to talk about something, put it in the chat, and I shall take a stab at it. Stab, 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 stab. Also, I just an FYI, I'm working on a new video. I've my situation has changed, and I'm moving from a bug out bag because if you guys have ever seen my bug out bag, it's no joke. You pretty much got to be like retired Marine or full size man to carry it. But the my situation has changed. It's always evolving, and as preppers, we should be evolving as well. And so I'm going to be going to a get home bag that's much easier to keep closer to me. So just an FYI. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Same boat, worship, the Council of Nicaea. UK Prepper says, or lend them money. That's how you lose friends. I know, right? They're your friends right up to the point where you hand that cash over, right? I wonder how many relationships or friendships Venmo is destroyed. Let's see here. Miko says, in the United States, separation from church from state is the law. You can have your own beliefs. Don't push. Exactly, exactly. Gnostic is saying, if you can't survive with your EDC, you're doing it wrong. Ah, listen, Broseph, I've been to some pretty crazy survival schools, okay? I'm here to tell you survival sucks. All right. If you can't survive with your EDC. I used to carry around like a full up I want to say it was like 15 or 20 liter EDC bag. It always stayed inside my Jeep. I brought it inside my house every day. You know what I'm saying? If I was going to the store, that was my A driver. Let's see here. JD Vance calling out the UK, no freedom of speech again. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, and it's so subtle the way they do that, man. The way when every time it's like I think this is like the second time so what was it? They sent JD to the NATO summit, and he got up and gave a speech where he just like throat punched these guys over and over and over and over until they were subdued. And I mean, they were like, "Oh my God, these are like the all of NATO is like DEI centric. It's so ridiculous." And then he just got up there and like throat punched him with words until like there was finally some that said, "Finally, there's a man in the room." And then he did that thing with the yeah, what was it? He was like, I can't remember his position, but he was like. It was like damn it, tell me what his position was. I can't remember. But anyway, so he went over to the UK and they talked to one of the high-ranking UK guys, and basically in very subtle words, he said that you have a problem with freedom of speech in this country. You know what I'm saying? Um, But also, I think he stood. No, the president was talking about free speech, and the UK Prime Minister's like, "Oh, we've had it forever. We're very familiar with free speech." It's basically he gave the "Don't lecture me" attitude. You used to be part of us attitude, and it didn't go over well. Americans were like, "Whatever, dude." Um, let's see here. Let's see. Windows says, "Y'all ready for the alien mothership coming in according to the Avi Loeb?" Well, we don't know what the Avi Loeb is, but we've already debunked. Actually I did a whole video on debunking the giant rock that's flying our way. It's not going to get anywhere near us. It'll be closer to Mars than it will be Earth. Let's see here. Prepper Broadcasting Network. I need more than my EDC to survive plenty of things. I know, right? I know. Listen, man, I wear synthetic shirts, and I wear synthetic shorts, and I wear synthetic socks, and my shoes are synthetic. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way for winter, I put like some kind of fleece hoodie on and some sweatpants. And it's like, okay, so like where's my pocket knife going? So I've got to have like an EDC bag, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm concealed carrying it because I prefer to conceal carry a full size firearm. If you talk to any cop who's ever been in a gunfight, you'll know exactly why. But these I do have smaller EDC weapons that I carry during the summertime that they basically disappear. Um, but it's like I'm not walking around with 50 things in my cargo pockets. I think that's the only thing the only thing that I like. I don't know if it's a criticism, but it's just like, yeah, I'm not going that far. You know what I'm saying? There's like a line where I stop. If you ever look at TJ Morris over there at Bear Independent, that guy's got every pocket he has got some kind of EDC/survival thing in it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's, it's like I feel like a private, you know what I'm saying? When you're when you go to the Marine Corps recruit training, you've got your knowledge, your little green book of knowledge, which is like this big, stuffed in, it just barely fits into a cargo pocket. And then you've got a canteen full of water stuffed in the other cargo pocket. And I remember I just hated that feeling of like walking around with all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so it's just like I just don't need. And it's funny too when people do like a pocket drop, an EDC pocket drop. You know, let's what do you got? Pocket drop, okay. And they start emptying his pocket. It's like, he's like his freaking like my caffeine nicotine heroin laced dip. You know what I'm saying? His little dip can flies out, and he's like, key like three keys on a keychain that's got like six other, tools attached to it. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty mind blowing. I'm pretty much, as far as the inside of my pockets, I'm pretty much done carrying crazy stuff past the pocket knife. It's like, and that's because that doesn't sit and rattle in my pockets. That kind of crazy. But yeah, EDC is great. Don't get me wrong, man. We all have it, whether we like it or not. We all have it. But yeah, you're not going to survive on your EDC. Let's see. Gnostic says, I got a blade, a flame, and cordage. That gives me at least 7 days. I can survive everywhere but jungle and desert. I never trained those biomes, nor will I travel to them. Gotcha. Widow says, I bet if we ran across aliens on Mars and they behaved as we do to one another, we would take them out before they took us out. We need to have a 5th of November type event, bro. Ah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that the time for killing is pretty much over with. It's like it's just too easy to wipe people out by just turning off their air conditioners. It's that easy. Turning off their heaters during winter. It's pretty easy to do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of I would say I would go out on a limb and I would say 90% of America would pass. Okay, be unalived after say 3 months of winter with no power. I think that's a reasonable. guesstimation. Um, you know, it's so easy. Just turn the power off and people die. It's one of the reasons we've been able to like populate the earth so much. So let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, and talking about Mars, guys. I don't know if you. So there are plans to do stuff on Mars. Not a joke. There's plans to do stuff on the moon. There's a base on the dark side of the moon. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? I'll believe it when I'm seeing. Huh. But the thing is things those ideas get fueled because of real world stuff. Like you've got that the Air Force has a space shuttle, a reusable spacecraft that goes up about once a year and comes back about once a year. It's set the world. It's set That craft has set the world record for the longest space flight ever. Over and over, just keeps doing it. No one knows where it's going. No one knows what it's doing. It's just a little bitty miniature space shuttle they throw up there once a year. You know. Uh, so yeah, things get fueled by that. Let's see here. Let's go back. I'm going to scroll through the chat here real quick. I got a blade across the aliens. Oh, that's what I was telling you. Right now, Blue Origin is in the process of putting up a relay stations around Mars. It's a satellite. They're going to put it up there. It's going to high orbit Mars. And no, it's not even going to. It's going to geostationary orbit Mars, which means it won't actually move. But before it does that, it's going to put out all these little bitty satellites, kind of like Starlinks. Okay. And they're going to encircle Mars, and yeah, so they're going to be able to relay communications back to Earth, uh, like that, like that. I think it's a 12 or no 25-second relay, but with our technology, I think things will get a little bit better. I'm gonna roll. I gotta. There we go. That's right. I used the mute button so you didn't have to hear my foghorn go off. But yeah, I wanted to pass that out. Let's see here. UK says, I'm putting a video out this week saying how it really is in UK. So I get black bags. You know why? Potential spam. This guy, potential spam. He calls me all the time. I don't know why. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you won't get black bag. Let's see here. Prepper Broadcast Nation, you should try it. We have done a lot of things that people assume they can do, and we have learned a lot about what people really need and don't need. Exactly. Windows says, I got a 9 mil, a ton of water, and tablets and straws, and some basic fire survival gear. People underestimate the water aspect in survival. I have fund I'm gonna say found being here on Gulf Coast after yeah, it's like that's my top pillar. It's my first pillar of water, food security. Yeah. First one, very first one. Let's see. Bring back the fanny pack. No, we're good, West Virginia Pappy. That sucks. Gregory says pocket knife, pliers, lighter. Gotcha. Windows says, I hope we don't have another flood event. There's a reason we don't know why pyramids are worldwide and all these ancient sites are so similar yet baffling. Yet ever listen to Graham Hancock? No, I don't listen to Graham Hancock, but clearly alien spaceships have been landing on these pyramids. They just need to come back. Let's see here. UK says 3 months is generous. Many of the sheeple will be gone in 30. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't say it was going to be like, yeah, in like 30 days, like a good chunk of them will die off. You know what I'm saying? Hell, it might get me. I don't know. Let's see here. Rose says there's a photo taken of a UFO back in the 50s prior to Roswell incidents. that could be debunked, that could not be debunked even recently. That's interesting. Gnostic says, leave no trace program or Null's National Outdoor Leadership School went pretty hard into the uncomfortable side of survival. I think that's great. I think that's great. We have to be caught. I hate to say it, but whenever we have survivalist schools, or leadership schools, we need to be very cautious of the people that are in it because, hmm, let's see here. Let's see here. Windows says I'm a Freemason. I'll give a good one, conspiratist. I think the Freemasons are awesome. I just don't want, hey, listen, I just don't want to join a club where I've got to like take a test and be a, I don't want to be a probie. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Gnostic says, I did some wilderness search and rescues as well in my early 20s that saw some really nasty accidents way out in the background. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. All Freemason practice in the esoteric arts. Your god is Lucifer, the morning star. Interesting. What I tell you about it. What I tell you about religion, guys. Quickest way to lose friends. Let's see here. I think it lost civilizations. I bet that was really insightful. Man can't get training like that these days. That's true. That's true. Okay, guys, we've been going at this for an hour and looks like 15 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes. If you guys have other subjects that you want to talk about, put it in the chat. If not, I will shut this thing down. Let's see here. Gnostic says Knowles was founded by Paul Pitzersoit, one of the original Alpine mariner legends. He invented terms like on belay or off belay. I got you. I got you. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great. What I was alluding to was there are people that get into whatever type of organization. They get into a specific type of things. Maybe let me put it this way. There's a lot of people that join the police department because they say they want to serve the community, but in reality, they have a psychological disorder where they feel the need for power. These are not good police officers. At some point within their however long they're police officers, they will screw up. They will do something stupid. Maybe it happens early on, maybe it happens later, maybe it happens over and over and nobody notices, but in the end, there's still bad things that happen, right? The same thing happens in these organizations who promote survivalism, and and or leadership. Okay, because leadership is not about skills. Leadership is about people. Okay, and some people just want, it's like college professors who just teach the same thing over and over and over. Uh, read this book. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Like that's why they call it homework. Homework is because the teacher didn't want to teach that day. That's what homework is for. If you guys didn't know this, if all these years and you didn't know that, homework is not to expand your learning. Homework is because the teacher didn't feel like to teach that day. My very first algebra teacher in high school did not teach. We he gave us tests in the morning, and that was it. And he basically gave us tests, and then he told us to do the homework. The guy never taught me a single thing. I failed that class. The next year, I went to a different teacher, and I aced the class. And I hate math. You see what I'm saying? So leadership is all about people, and sometimes you get the wrong people in the wrong places. Let's see here. Sounds like Stargate program, the United States part of it. That's a movie. Let's see here. If you want to be a professional mountain guide, Knowles is the course to take. That's cool. UK Urban Prepper says, question. If it becomes obvious UK has become communist, will Trump liberate us? Um, no. He won't. I think it's important that people that are in the situation that the UK is in realize two things. One, there are more of you than there are of them, and we constantly forget that. And the second thing that every prepper knows, no one is coming to save you. Getting involved in another country's constitution or uh, political issues is a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake. So, and we've proven that year over year over year with the nation building stuff that, George Bush was doing. Both of them, both of the Bushes were doing. So, sorry, bro. Love you, man, but no one's coming to save you. And I honestly think, and the funny thing too is I think that I feel in my gut that because people in the UK, you guys grew up with the access to firearms the way we have here in the United States. So you grew up knowing how to use your hands, knowing how to use your fists. And I think that that instinct that is developed, you know what I'm saying, is a very strong attribute to standing up against governments. Knowing not just knowing how to fight, but knowing that you can fight and then doing it. I think, unfortunately, people have been sitting on their laurels way too long. Way too long. I don't know if that was the answer that you were looking for, but that's my opinion. We're at here. Mountain Guide, UK. West Virginia Property says, I've seen vids claiming animals fleeing Yellowstone. Yeah, that was fake. That's totally fake. Now, Yellowstone has got some seismic stuff going on there, but it's not that bare. That was completely fake. Well, it wasn't fake. It was a vehicle that was being followed by bears that were inside of a bear rescue area. It's like bear camp. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so they were following the vehicle because they knew that people would give them food. Let's see. Gnostic says, I've got my stripes in survival through long-term backcountry backpacking. That's cool. Miko says, you joined the Freemasons. You got word that tinfoil hat you got beside you. Ah, no, that's something completely different, and you know it. Greg says, find another Oliver Cromwell. Rose says, the school system in Hazel Park, Michigan, years ago had mandatory homework for all students from K-12. Started with 30 minutes, then a couple hours with the older students. Frustrating for parents. Homework should never be more than 30 minutes. Never, ever. I personally don't believe in homework. It's like, there's just not enough time in the day to teach them the things that we need to teach them. Really? Really? My younger brother went to a all year round school and they never had homework. So maybe that's the solution because we don't need to have our kids working on the farm all summer to bring in the crops anymore, you know? So maybe talk to your government about all year round schools because they actually freaking work. Let's see. UK Prepper says, not enough warriors. Unfortunately, it's only going one way. Immigration is plan B. You know, yeah, well, it's guys, if we haven't learned anything over the past, say, 10 years, we cannot let these touchy-feely people be in power. They don't do us any good. It's all for the betterment of mankind and this little world, what I'm saying? They want to create this utopia, okay? And then what they end up doing is siphoning all the money from the middle class so that they can create some utopia idea or area, okay, that is just for them. That's all it is. It's a big scam. Let's see here. Hit the like button to free. It's free to do, and it helps the channel. Thank you, UK Herbert Prepper. I appreciate you, man. I don't even know how many thumbs up do I have, guys. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know how many people are watching right now. Cool Colt says the presumption that our way is the only way is a bit arrogant. Okay. Others must be left to their own devices. Just don't bring your crazy to my door, or I'll be forced to introduce you to my beliefs. Very well said. Very well said. Gnostic says the education system. That's why Cool Colt has he's been the man for so many months. The education system was made by the Rockefeller Foundation, who said, I quote, "I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." I believe that. I believe that. 21 thumbs up and 18 watch. Gotcha. Okay. Moonsprout. I don't recognize you. Make sure you hit that the subscribe button so you get more of this. So Moonsprout says homeschooling is one of the greatest gifts you can give your children. It takes sacrifice, but I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Um, but problem is that homeschooling only works for families that can afford to homeschool. That one person can go out and make the money while the other person stays home and homeschools. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way it works. But I do love it. I do love it. I used to have homeschoolers inside our Discord. Let's see here. Let's see here. You're tracking two US F-15s over UK at the moment. I believe it. I believe it. There's lots of websites that can do that stuff. Let's see here. Education is an atmosphere. That's true. That's true. Vegan cookies, good reviews. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I haven't seen you like forever. Um, okay, so I don't see anything else in the chat, guys. I don't see anything else in the chat. I'll give you one more opportunity to put something in the chat we can talk about. And if not, then I will shut this down so fast. Don't make me do it. I will shut this thing down. I do need to do a giveaway. I do need to do a giveaway. Try. I see 23 thumbs up on my side. I do need to do. I've got like some kits that I do need to do a giveaway. What should I give away? Put it in the chat. Let's see if you're even paying attention. See if you're even interacting. Let's see if you're participating today, because participation is mandatory in life. Oh, I know that Alrighty then can't win anything for a while. He wins the stuff. Rose says a new radio. Okay. UK Prepper says LP after Trump's term. What's next? Predictions on the direction of the country. Um, that's a long way off, dude. 3 years is a long time. It's a long time. I would like to say JD Vance would be our next president. I think he's the next guy in the slot. I think he's in the batter up box. You know what I'm saying? Um, and he's doing good things. He's making a lot of connections. He hasn't really. I don't think he's actually pissed off anybody on the right. I think everybody pretty much loves him. You know what I'm saying? Um, and yeah, I think JD is going to be the next guy. But it really comes down to elections and how they're controlled. So Trump is trying to fix the election system here in the United States, so it's like real. I think it was like 47, it was either Massachusetts or Illinois, I always say that wrong, that has like 47% voting for Republicans, but I think Massachusetts has no Republican seats in the Congress. Figure that one out. How's that possible? So I think they're going to have to fix some stuff. So I'm participating. I was told I would get a trophy for participating. Here's your here's your trophy. Here's your trophy. Here you go. Here's your trophy. Here's your prize. Okay, let's see here. Too much Palantir, Palantir with JD. Ah, I got you. I got you. I don't know. I haven't heard any connections between Palantir and JD. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important to remember. It's important to remember that we have to have AI. If you guys don't know this, Palantir is a company that's basically it grew out of some very black places. I knew about Palantir back when I was on active duty in 2007 when I retired. They've been around for a long time, and they're a government weapons system intelligence, artificial intelligence. They got their fingers in a little bit of everything. Okay, but here in the United States, we have to have AI, and we have to have drones, and we have to be able to fight. We have to continue to advance in order to have the ability to fight in the modern war spectrum. If we do not, our enemies will take advantage of us. Can you imagine? Do me a favor, guys. Let's see if we can get a little bit of participation here. I want you to put in a 1 in the chat if you agree with me, and I want you to put a 0 in the chat if you don't agree with me. Okay? Participation is required here. Do you think that the United States is prepared for a drone war on US soil? I say no. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 0 in the chat if you do not agree. I'll wait. Hysterically distracted laughter. So we're in Texas, West Texas. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing great. Bullseye Ben showed up. Gotcha. Get off the fence, Ian. But I think that this is what they call a slice. All right. And like one, maybe two people disagree with me. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, six definite answers, you know what I'm saying? One on the fence and the two that disagree. So that's nine people. So 7 out of 9 people agreed that America is not prepared to defend against a drone war here in the United States. Why? Because nobody thinks about it. Because, oh, that'll never happen here. That'll never happen here. It's happening on the other side of the world. People run out of bodies. You don't have to train a drone. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to create a Marine, you've got to put him through 3 months of recruit training and then at least another 6 weeks of infantry training. At the least. Don't have to do that with a drone. You could literally conscript Johnny Joe game playing, Jack. I ran out of J's to explain how dumb the kid has to be. You can literally just conscript him and say, fly this drone. And you get the medium smart people to make them. That's what they're doing in Ukraine. All the drones in Ukraine are either purchased or built in Ukraine. They're literally like the drone parts globally are being funneled into Ukraine for a drone war. For a drone war that they're winning against a monstrous, competitor, a monstrous an enemy that's monstrous. And yeah, they've got drones and they're sophisticated. They're really expensive. But yeah, So we don't think that that could happen here in the United States, and that's why we have the answers that we have. But that's also why we have Palantir. So let's see here. We have the technology, not the practice or means to defense at a social level. And West Virginia Pappy says, remember, lots of retailers are having a clearance sale of Farden. Oh, garden and camping items this time of year. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Nico says, one, we have to use AI drones. We have volunteer army. You don't have a draft anymore. That's for AI. That's for AI steps in. Where AI steps in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have capabilities that basically what I call them Amazon capabilities. You know what I'm saying? Uh, let's see here. Can't wait to kid out my farting. I know, right? I try to read between the lines, man. I try to read between the lines. Okay. Well, I think that was enough of that. If you guys are just dropping in, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I can only do this for so long. For the people that are still watching, I greatly appreciate you guys. Do me a favor. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, do me a favor, hit it on the way out the door. It does help the channel. Yeah, I think that's going to be about it. I gotta go. I gotta go make lunch for the girlfriend. Stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye bye. That one.